Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show podcast. And yes, you can finally fly the W again. Cubs win 5-2. They beat the Giants. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Delmendo. Ryan Herrera is out at the ballpark. He hopefully will join us before the end of the show. Joey's running the ones and twos, spinning the dials, as they used to say in the day. And, hey, Keegan Thompson, the mayor's back.
Don't let me say it.
The mayor's back. You got your new closer.
Don't let me say it.
Move over, Hector.
Don't let me say the two of those things you just said. Don't let me say it.
He looked pretty good.
He did. Don't let me say it, though. Not yet. Not yet. But I will say this. Thank you, Craig, because I couldn't take another heart attack Hector ninth inning.
No.
I couldn't take it. So, whether it's because of however many pitches he threw yesterday or not, 3 batters, 3 strikeouts from Keegan Thompson. When you have a 3-run lead in the ninth inning as well, makes things easier. Because the second batter he struck out, you felt like he hung that pitch and he just missed it. But it's like when you have a 3-run lead in the ninth inning, you can be aggressive.
Hey, that felt all of a sudden I thought it was 2022.
Yeah,
where he was,
yeah,
missing bats. Somebody in the live YouTube chat, which is the best way to enjoy the CHGO experience, was asking, what was the spin rate? Want to know from the pitch doctor. What was the spin rate on those babies tonight? We got the win. Let's go get this series, says Ricky on the $2 super chat.
Thank you, Ricky.
That's right. Trying to finally win it. They've lost 9 out of 10 series, the Cubs. They can start to stop that slide if they can win tomorrow. Win back-to-back games.
And that brings me to our next point. I'm not doing the beer bat tonight because they got to win a series. They haven't won a series since, and I don't count that one. They shouldn't have won those games. So, win tomorrow, we'll do a beer bat. But I'm not doing a beer bat tonight because I'm so sick and tired of being reeled back in so quick after one win.
Now, don't go negative on us.
I'm not. But, I'm drawing the line. We were 5 games under 500 going into tonight. You get a big win. You actually won in I had nothing to complain about this game. Steele was awesome. Your defense was awesome. You didn't do anything on the bases that I didn't like. And the bullpen didn't blow the game. Oh, what a concept, man. What a concept. I strap me in for more of this. If we're going to do this, if we're going to do what we did tonight a lot more, not necessarily win every night as much as I would love that, but just give me quality baseball where you're not shooting yourself in the foot all the time, blowing games when you should win. Man, buddy, sign me up for that.
Just enjoy it once. Can even the Godfather stay positive tonight? Can we just look on the bright side? Myself included, it was a very negative pregame show, right?
It was.
It was a very heavy cloud hanging over the team.
We were ready to riot outside the marquee.
We were. Another super chat already. $4.99 from Larry saying, I'm with Cody on this. We're definitely not saved by Keegan's performance, but definitely think this is the most dominant closing all year.
That might have been the easiest ninth inning that we've seen all season. On June 18th?
There's a lot of positivity there. Even Gary says Tyson Miller should pitch every game.
If his arm doesn't fall off, right?
And remember, he was the man traded for Jake Slaughter.
Credit to Gary for giving some credit.
Gary, man of integrity to admit that Tyson Miller was good tonight.
Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can admit when they're wrong or whenever they say that they didn't like a certain guy and then they prove them wrong, as in the player proves them wrong. Yeah, Tyson Miller was awesome tonight, man. Just clean 8th inning. Came in, got the out after they took Steele out in the 7th. He's been awesome. As much as I've sat here and bitched, and I mean bitched, about the front office picking up Miller a month ago or whenever it was, he's been great.
What's the record with Masterboni now called up?
1-0.
Okay.
Cubs are 1-0 since they recalled Miles
that.
Masterboni.
People forget that.
Yeah, people forget that. Don't forget that, all right? 1-0 since
Cubs
they
are 1-0
recalled
since
Miles
they called up
Masterboni, brother.
Masterboni.
Let's go. We're going for 2-0 tomorrow.
3-run, 8th inning, Bush the double, then 4 singles. I believe it was Bellinger, Happ, Seiya, and Morel at the end.
Morel hit one, yeah. Pinch hitting, yeah.
So the big rally, the game-winning rally, no homers, but it's your 5 guys that you're counting on for big offense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nico didn't have a great night.
Ugh.
PCA didn't have a great night. But Bellinger came through, Happ came through, Seiya came through, and Morel in his short stint came through. That's what Jed Hoyer, some of that was blowing smoke at you yesterday, but he is factual when he says the big names are big names, are key players have to play well for this to turn around.
And
you can't replace 7 guys on the team at the trade deadline.
But one thing that you always talk about rang true again tonight. When you talk about the lack of slug on the team, Swanson hits that 2-run homer in the 2nd inning to get them an early lead. When was the last time Justin Steele had an early lead? He ended up giving it back, but he didn't let them take the lead. But again, Swanson obviously has to be better, and hopefully tonight is a stepping stone. All right, but and I feel like since that Cincinnati series on the road, he has been better. I know there's been some games along the way that have make you want to pull your hair out because it's a lot of what we've seen, whether it's ground balls or he had a swinging bunt tonight that he was thrown out on. He was unable to drive in an insurance run in the 9th inning. Whatever. It's not all perfect. I'm not saying that he's back. I'm just saying him hitting that home run tonight, the point is when you're able to not only score early, but do it via the home run like that, you don't have to do it every single game, but if you do it more often than not, whoever it is, doesn't have to be Swanson, just your team. If you do that, you're putting yourself in position to win. You're setting the tone of the game. And to do it against a guy like Logan Webb, who's been really good over the course of his career, right? I felt like that was a big moment for this game. Admittedly, when it happened, I was like, whoa, I can't believe this just happened. But as
we were on the couch talking about he just doesn't have the pop.
Right.
You can't bat 200 and not have pop.
Exactly. The only person who can do that is Kyle Schwarber, but he does have pop, right? So the point is scoring early, getting using the long ball, whoever it is. But again, I hope this stretch for Swanson, it's been a little inconsistent this month, but he has been better of late. So I just hope he keeps it up. As far as Nico though, I'm not trying to get negative, but his at-bats are just so discouraging right now, man. I asked at the end of yesterday's show, I asked for Happ to be in the leadoff spot just because this entire season the offense has been at its best when Happ was leading off the game or leading off, at the top of the order. And Horner, his OPS is, it's low. He's below 700 now. He's hitting 239. 654 OPS to be okay. Clear with you, all right? 0 for 5 tonight, 3 ground balls, a fly out that wasn't hit very hard, and then that the best ball he probably put into play was the one caught in the 9th inning today, and it was kind of just a little bit of a flare too. He's just not hitting the ball hard. He's hitting a lot of ground balls. His ground ball rate's higher than the last 2 years this year. The defense is there. I'll give him that. The defense has been there for him.
There's just no confidence when he comes to the plate.
And there's no confidence. And then
I'm not saying him. For me, I have no confidence it's going to go well.
I'm the same way. I find myself sitting on the couch bitching about him sometimes, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing it. But I don't know. Again, this goes back to the hand thing. Like, is he hurt? Is he not hurt?
Right.
Like, should I be yelling at the Cubs? Should I be yelling at him? Should I be yelling at both? Because he's saying he can play, but clearly, since he's come back, he hasn't done much. All right, so I don't know what to think there, but again,
I don't know how you can play baseball with a fractured hand, but
yeah. So I'll go back to the positive here, but he's one of my bigger concerns right now, even more so than Swanson, because at least Swanson has kind of shown lately that he's hitting, that he's starting to come out of it a little bit. It's not consistent. It's not perfect. And again, I'm not saying he's back, but the big home run tonight set the tone of the game. Steele comes out, not only gets a shutdown inning, but he takes you into the 7th inning, only gives up 2 earned. Like, you get that from your starting pitcher every 5th day, you take it every single time. He's been so great since that series in Milwaukee. Steele deserves a lot of credit. I haven't complained about the starting pitching staff at all, and I have had no reason to. They've been awesome. If there's only one, the only person in the starting rotation that we have complained about all season is Kyle Hendricks, who goes tomorrow. So
we'll see what happens. I mean, this was nice because you got the marquee names to perform, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, Dansby Swanson, then in the 3-run 8th, it was the other guys, Bellinger, Happ, and Morrell, and
Bush starting it off with that double.
And more than anybody, Justin Steele.
Yeah.
Justin Steele with another solid start, 6 2/3, 2 runs, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts. If it wasn't for the 2 walks, he's probably in the 8th inning, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, because of the walks, the pitch count, but yeah, he almost completed 7 innings.
He's been good. He's been good since the end of May.
Yeah,
like there hasn't been a complete game shutout or anything crazy.
He's giving you quality starts.
There's been 6 innings, 7 innings, 2 runs, 3 runs, 1 run. A lot of good starts in there. So it's great to see that he has bounced back.
And they've talked about this year his usage, his changeup usage has increased this year, and I feel like maybe that's helped him a lot. I'll go look it up right now, but it just feels like he's more than just a 2-pitch pitcher now based off what we watch. Yeah, no, he's just, when he came back from the injury, he had to get back into a routine, into his groove or whatever. But yeah, since that start in Milwaukee where he went 7 innings, no earned or whatever, he's been just as good as Shota, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can't – from year to year, it's really hard to transfer over and say, well, that's going to happen again next year because it happened last year. And I've heard counsel say that, and it is true. Like, you couldn't guarantee that even though Steele had a great run last year and was in the Cy Young conversation, that it was going to happen again to that level this year, right? Then he gets hurt on opening day. So right now you're looking at the team, and one of the things that's been hard to swallow about the offense struggling has been that the starting pitching has been so good, and you can look and say, man, Shota and Steele make a pretty good 1-2 punch, especially if you can get to the postseason with it,
Yeah.
right? And then whoever for number 3. But Shota and Steele make you feel pretty good about a couple of starts in a series and leading your rotation. You can't necessarily guarantee it's going to happen next season, but you're starting to see that Steele is now showing you this isn't just a blip in the radar. It's not just 1 year. This is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. And you hope the same thing can continue the rest of the season for Shota and beyond. Now, I've heard a lot of guys, Cliff Floyd included, saying Shota could win a Cy Young. They believe he's going to be that guy and that he slipped through the cracks and the Cubs got a great deal on him. We'll wait and see. I'll tell you where else you can get a great deal. Cuts, baby. Cuts. Get ready to be the most stylish one in your crew this summer with Cuts. Most guys would wear a T-shirt every day if they could. Some of us do. The problem is that most T-shirts are not acceptable at workplaces or out on a hot date night. Today's sponsor, Cuts, has finally changed that. Cuts T-shirts are such high quality, wrinkle-free, and so buttery soft that you can look like you're dressing up even when you're dressing down. Yeah, you heard me right. Wrinkle-free, baby. For a limited time, you can save money on Michael Chandler's favorite clothing company by heading to cutsclothing.com. That's C-U-T-S. And use the code CHGO for 20% off. Now, not only has Cuts completely changed the t-shirt game, they have tons of other simple yet sophisticated items. Their stretch-to-fit joggers look way better than those khakis you used to wear, and 1,000 times more comfortable. And the best part? Cuts clothing, built to last. Durable construction means you're enjoying your favorite shirts and pants for years to come, making them a smart investment for your wardrobe as well. So embrace the summer state of mind with Cuts. For a limited time, our listeners get 20% off the entire order when you use the code CHGO at checkout. That's 20% off your order, cutsclothing.com with the promo code CHGO. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the perfect blend of style and comfort with Cuts Clothing.
Shout out Stephen Borelli. He's the founder and owner of Cuts Clothing.
Doesn't matter what your body type is. Cuts, cut to fit you just right.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what else fits just right. Blue Moon on a hot summer day. Some beers can say they're brewed for baseball, but only Blue Moon is brewed by baseball. Beer and baseball just go together. No beer goes better than the one that was born literally in a ballpark. Blue Moon was created at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. It's the natural choice all season long. Hey, the hot weather is here. Summertime shy is here. Blistering summertime shy is here. I say, give me a Blue Moon to cool off, whether that's at home, watching baseball, lounging by a pool. Maybe you're at a lake. Maybe you got a friend who has a boat. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the season. A beer this good only comes around once in a Blue Moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Bring the ballpark to you with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Get Blue Moon delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/CHGO to see your delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/CHGO. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Joey was just having one over there minutes ago, and I heard the quiet approval of, That's when you know it hit right.
Good impression.
Thank you. So, we were talking about Steele. He was great. We were talking about Keegan Thompson. He was great. We were talking about Tyson Miller. He was great. But Dansby Swanson provided the power for today's game, presented by Illinois' pork producers. Savor the flavor, savor the gains. Celebrate any occasion by enjoying the best pork produced by Illinois pig farmers. It was the bottom of the second, 7th home run of the season, 401 feet. Yes, he has had a down season. And yes, we were surprised on the couch. I thought we were talking so negatively about him behind his back on the couch that we may have willed him to that home run. So now the question is, 7 home runs for Dansby Swanson. What will he finish the season with when it's all said and done?
I still think he can get to 20. He hit like 22 last year.
13 more.
Yeah.
He's like a 25 home run guy.
Yeah. But I don't really care about the homers. I mean, as much as I said, you need...
Well, the defense is rebounded.
Right.
After some...
But I guess for this team, he does need to hit the 20 to 25 homers.
He's got to hit 20.
Right?
Has to.
I guess he has to.
He has to.
But what do you value, like, considering...
For this team to get to the postseason, right? We talk about power. Dansby's got to hit 20. Bush is going to have to hit 20. Morel's going to hit 20, I think.
He's got 13, so yeah. I think so, too.
Either Bellinger or Seiya would have to hit 20.
Yeah.
Or Happ. 2 of those 3 would have to hit 20, in my eyes, for this team to get to the postseason somehow.
Sure. Well, what I was going to say is, like, what do you value more from a guy like Dansby Swanson? Do you value him getting on base? So would you rather the on-base percentage to be at league average or better, with a higher batting average, but with like a 400 slugging percentage, something like that? Or would you rather that slugging percentage to be more like 450 with an on-base just a little bit lower and batting average right around where it ended last year, which is around 240?
I'd take last year. Last year, I know some people were disappointed because they look at the contract and say $177 million and yada, yada. I believe when it was all said and done, he was the best bargain of the shortstops.
Well, by WAR, he did have a higher WAR than any of the other shortstops, yeah.
Right? And he was kind of the bargain deal of the group. He was the lowest paid guy of the group. So I know people weren't, like, ecstatic because they thought they were going to get this cornerstone player, if you want to call him that. And I think he can be a key piece, but I don't know if you – and he could be a leader. He could be the leader, but I don't know if offensively you want him to be the cornerstone of your offense. You want him to be a guy in your offense. Now, the Cubs aren't built for that so far this year, right? Like if you had Juan Soto on the team, you can push Dansby Swanson down the line and things start to change a little bit. That's why the question was asked to Craig Counsell. So my answer is all of it. On the way in, I think I heard Waddle and Sylvie talking about ESPN had ranked, if you're redrafting shortstops, if you're drafting shortstops right now, how would you do it? And Dansby wasn't in the top 13.
Yeah, he hasn't been good this year. Like I would. That's
right. And
there's a lot of good shortstops.
There's shortstops with power. Now he's defensively he would change that list.
Yeah.
You know, he'd be much higher up that list. But I could see that, and people say, well, then why is he paid so highly? Well, that's what a shortstop gets now.
Well, and also when you're older, and he had success with Atlanta. Like I don't
look at it. I still don't. I know some people looked at it as a bad signing. I don't look at it as a bad signing yet. No. It's been a disappointing first half of the season for him.
Yeah.
But I really wasn't disappointed in what he gave you last year.
This is what I've avoided the discourse because it just gives me heartburn. But this is what Dansby Swanson is. Like if he's what he was last year, that is what he's basically been his entire career with the Braves too.
Right.
You know, like he's not a great hitter. He's a good hitter. He can be a great hitter in stretches, but he is a streaky player, but he is a glove-first shortstop. The Cubs brought him in mainly for defense. Now, his market as a free agent, the Braves were the only other team that were like rumored out there to maybe get him, and they offered a much lower price, and
they were willing to let him go.
They were willing to let him go, and so far it looks like it's panned out for them. Orlando Arcia just decided to go to Atlanta and become an all-star caliber player. Doesn't make any sense to me. They traded their top shortstop prospect to the Red Sox, and I don't remember who came back in that trade. I want to say it's Chris Sale, but I don't think that's true. Anyway, not the point. But the point is that Jason Hayward, they signed him to that contract because he was 26 years old,
right,
and he was coming off his best offensive season with the Cardinals, and they thought he was entering the prime of his career as a hitter, and he was already a Gold Glove outfielder.
Right.
The Cubs basically only end up getting his defense. He had like 1 year in there. I think 2019 was probably his best offensive season. It still wasn't what you paid for, but again, 2016, 2017, even 2018, they were very mid at best offensive seasons for Jason Hayward. So I just think there are two different things. Like you knew what kind of player Dansby has been. They didn't sign him thinking he was going to come in here and be an offensive
home
threat.
runs, right.
Yeah. And I just think, like, yeah, you need him to be better than what he's been to this point in the season. But I also think that anyone expecting him to be a better hitter than what he's been, I just think you're setting yourself up to be mad. And
it doesn't make him a bad baseball player that he hit his seventh home run. I'm not saying that.
No, I know you're not saying that.
Right? Like
I'm talking about the discourse that I've read.
Oh, for sure. There's people in the chat tonight that are like, it's total waste, terrible signing, yada, yada, yada. And I'm just saying, in order for this season to go where fans are hoping it can at least get to, which is a postseason berth, I think he's going to have to get to at least that 20 home run mark.
Yeah.
Which is not totally impossible, but he's going to have to hit better the rest of the way.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to have to play better.
I personally would rather see his batting average up a little higher and the on-base up, because you named off all these dudes who could hit 20 home runs, right? Morel, he's got 13, and he's had a tough first half of the season based off actual results. And the peripherals say that he will be better. And he still has 13 home runs and 40-some RBIs. Michael Busch leads all rookies in homers. He has 9. All right. Are we throwing out the window that he can't get on another heater like he did at the beginning of the year? I'm not, because he has like a 130 WRC plus and is arguably the best hitter on this team right now. And he ignited the rally tonight. And honestly, he was just a few inches short of another homer tonight. That ball went just under the basket, right? It was more of a line. Yeah. It was more of a line drive than it was a moonshot, right? So I think Michael Busch could, if he goes on one of those heaters like he did in April, he could be a 25 to 30 home run dude. He has got 9. I believe he leads all rookies in homers. All right. Then you have Bellinger, you have Seiya. Bellinger, he's got 9 and he's been meh. Seiya, he's got 8 or 9 and he's been meh. At some point, you got to think that they will go on some hot streak, like them individually. At some point, they'll go on some heater, right? And so you get all that. Bush's offense being inserted into this lineup compared to last year where they didn't have it. I think you can get away with Dansby not having 20 to 25 homers. Okay. And then also, you're getting some contributions from other guys like Wisdom, for example, who can hit one on any day. And it's not, I don't think Wisdom's going to hit 20 homers because he's not getting the at-bats. Right. But if he finishes the season with 10 to 15, considering the amount of at-bats he gets, you take that, right? So I still think Swanson can hit 20 to 25. I just think that there's more talent on the team this year comparatively to last year, to where I think you can get away if he doesn't hit 20 to 25 homers. I still think he needs to at least hit somewhere between 15 and 20. But I'd rather personally see him be more of an on-base, set the table type guy with a higher batting average than last year, which he hit like 240 last year. So if he could be like a 270 with like a 340 on base, I would be happy with that.
I think one of the hardest things about watching baseball, especially when you get over 150 games, right? Even if you're not watching all of them, 150 games, is that very rarely is baseball consistent, right? Like because there's so many bats, because there's so much failure, the games are so long. I wish he was a little more consistent at the plate. Yeah. Right?
And that's fair. And I agree. Like because he's not consistent is why people in the YouTube chat, people on social media are like doing this whole discourse related to comparing his contract to Hayward. And he's already given you more value as far as WAR than Hayward did his first year, at least. That's for sure. He was almost a 5-WAR player last year.
And that there's a gap in what those pays are too. Like somebody said Trey Turner was better last year. Trey Turner made a lot more money too. Not that listen,
Trey Turner Cubs wasn't better last year.
If the Cubs would have, maybe overall you could say that, I guess, but Dansby was pretty good defensively.
Trey Turner was so bad last year that they had to give him a standing ovation to turn his season around.
And then afterwards he
played better after that. Right. But as far as overall value, Dansby Swanson was the best 4 of the shortstops.
There's no question.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be mad if they had signed any of the other guys, but I also saw somebody saying, Bogarts has been pedestrian and hurt. Agreed.
Yeah, he's been awful, yeah.
And we all agreed they had to have one of them.
I will say Correa has been better this year, but he's also had injury problems too.
That's true.
So,
there you go.
I don't know. I mean, we're going to continue to debate this for the next 6 years. And I think by the end of it, we'll probably be fine with whatever Dansby gets us, considering he was considered the fourth best shortstop out of that free agent class. But if he helps the team win games and he produces at what his career suggests that he should, then I can't really be mad about whatever he's giving us with the bat as long as he's playing good defense. Not one player is the reason that you win games, at least the player of his caliber, which is just like a star player. Like, he's not a superstar. He's just a star player. You've been to the All-Star game a couple times. He's a great defense.
Tell us about Sunnyside, Cody, because our friends at Sunnyside always take care of us.
Sunnyside, right there in Wrigley. Imagine you go Sunnyside today before the game at beautiful historic Wrigley Field. I'm sure Corey did, because I know he was there tonight. Doing his job as a fan to support this team, which can be really hard to do at times. But our friends at Sunnyside, they help us, they help us during the good and the bad times, right? They're here to definitely elevate your summer. They're your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far south as Champaign and as far north as South Beloit. Stop into the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff or select from quality lines like Cresco or FloraCal. Mindy Siegel's award-winning chocolates at Sunnyside are one of my favorites, Luke, and you too can get them if you just go to sunnyside.shop and use code HICHGO, CHGO, at checkout for 35% off brands like Cresco, Good News, and Mindy Siegel's award-winning chocolates. To elevate your first purchase, Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
Very nice. Hey, guys, when it comes to finding your next vehicle, make Ray CDJR your number one draft pick. This June, shop Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams at Ray CDJR in Fox Lake. And during the Make This the Summer event, find the perfect vehicle and score huge savings, too. For a limited time, lease the new 2024 Jeep Wrangler Willies for only $419 a month or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Let the amazing team at Ray CDJR help you land the perfect vehicle at the perfect price, because with Ray's Price Promise, the numbers you're hearing now are the same numbers you can expect to shop in-store and online. That's because Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees. Since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry into Ray CDJR today and shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories, then drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, because they are the only team that we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
Just in closing with what we were talking about with Swanson, I'm not saying that, again, I'm not saying he's back. I've said that a handful of times on the show, and I just don't want my words to get construed.
We're saying the mayor's back.
Perhaps I am saying
we're not saying that yet either,
is.
but okay.
Sorry. But I just want people to know that, I don't think Swanson is back, but if this team is going to get it together, he's got to do more of what he did tonight. And if he didn't hit a home run tonight, fine. I did love the fact that he went the opposite way on that ball, though. I felt like he did some of that in Cincinnati, and when he starts pulling the ball like he has been through a lot of this bad stretch, he's just grounding the ball to short. It's so to see him hit the ball on a line in the air to the opposite field, I think is encouraging. So just need to see more of it consistently, and hopefully starts to show in the win column, because this team needs it.
There was sad news during the game. They had a moment of silence at Wrigley Field. Willie Mays, the Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats in baseball, passed away at the age of 93. Look at what Baseball Reference put out. Just look at these stats. 660 home runs, 3,200, almost 3,300 hits, almost 2,000 RBI. He had 339 stolen bases. The last 12 Gold Gloves is incredible. He's always known for the over-the-shoulder catch, but 24-time All-Star. 24-time All-Star. And so I will ask you, as we wait for Ryan Herrera to come on and join us from beautiful, historic Wrigley Field, where the Cubs won 5-2, who should be on the Mount Rushmore of Major League Baseball? The four names I put out there, and I don't know that these are right. I'm just saying, if the first four names that popped in my mind, Willie Mays is 100% on the list. Babe Ruth, for me, is on the list. Herb Lawrence told me he doesn't think Babe Ruth should be on the list. I think that's blasphemy, but okay. I said Jackie Robinson's got to be on the list. Herb didn't have Jackie Robinson on the list. He had a couple modern-day players, which is okay.
Yeah.
But mine were Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, and then the fourth one I think is debatable, but I went Hank Aaron. Now, could you say Barry Bonds? Could you say Ted Williams or Nick Shepkowski? Was saying on Twitter to me, what about a pitcher? Should there be a pitcher on that list? And then who should that pitcher be? Now, Babe Ruth was also a pitcher.
Like, I just think it depends on like how you look at it, because there's been so many years of this game. When you think about it, like why people like or got into baseball or follow baseball or how the game has grown, then yeah, I think Babe Ruth belongs on the Mount Rushmore, because he was considered like the greatest power hitter of his time, and for years and years to come after that, like he became like a legend because of that and calling his shot at Wrigley Field and like that aura that that he brought. That, like, I
believe statistically you can't touch Babe Ruth. Now people say
700 home runs.
People say he didn't play against
the best talent,
the best players,
and that's the thing. That's what I'm getting at here is that when you talk about what they meant to the game and how they grew the game, Babe Ruth belongs on this Mount Rushmore. I mean, The Sandlot, that movie, it's one of the greatest baseball movies ever. Babe Ruth has such a presence in it as like for these kids, like
Mickey Mantle. Some people say Mickey Mantle, Cy Young.
Yeah, like I'm just saying that, like
Ty Cobb.
But if you go based off statistics or if you go based off an era, like in my opinion, if Shohei Ohtani does what he's been doing the last handful of years for another 7 to 10 years, you got to put him on there, because he'd be pitching and hitting at an elite level at the tip of like at the peak of baseball as far as talent and how hard it is to have success. Because like you said, when Babe Ruth was playing, no one was throwing it 100 miles an hour with like ridiculous movement like they do today, So like if you go based off those types of things, it's hard to put anyone from back then on the list. So to me, I feel like your Mount Rushmore is based off like what they did for the game. So I would have Babe Ruth.
The faces of the game, the all-time faces of the game. You can't have a conversation about Major League Baseball without Babe Ruth.
Right.
You can't.
So again, for me, it's Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays can go on there. And then I would put Barry Bonds, because
Barry Bonds.
1, steroids are awesome. 2, he has more homers than anyone else, and he was on path to be a Hall of Famer before the alleged steroids. Did I mention steroids are awesome? Yeah.
Lou Gehrig was mentioned on the list.
So I'm looking here at this article from Jug Sports, and they sort of broke it down to how you could really frame this however you want. So I just think some of these names are worth mentioning. If you want to go for the all-time leaders, you go Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Pete Rose, Cy Young. Going for the historians and the researchers, the Baseball Research Society, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Hank Aaron, Ted Williams. Sports reporters, ESPN expert panel in 2016, Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Ted Williams. Joe
Ted
Morgan,
Williams.
His list in 1998, Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Ty Cobb. And then you look at the guys with, famous integrity character, Lou Gehrig, Cal Ripken, Roberto Clemente, Sandy Koufax. And it's just like, it's cool because of how many names can even be in that conversation. And
you have
how
to
many
be able to put more than 4.
and you can't have more than 4. Somebody in the chat was trying to have 5. And what's interesting, I think about the sports reporters and Joe Morgan and all the other guys you listed there. I don't think anybody said who I said, which was Jackie Robinson. I'm not saying he was one of the 4 best players of all time,
but he
faces of the game. Now, I guess you could say Doubleday or somebody like that should be on there, but like Jackie Robinson, we celebrate him every year.
Yeah,
the game is completely.
They retired his number.
It's completely changed by what he did.
Right.
So that's why Jackie Robinson, he was a great player. So to me, Jackie Robinson, if you want to just say the greatest players to ever play the game, then I'll give you a different list.
This same article says the 4 names that come up most often are Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Jackie Robinson, and Ted Williams. Those are the 4.
Ted Williams. So they did Ted Williams instead of Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
Which that was one that I said you could substitute in there. I've seen Pete Rose. A lot of people say, well, Pete Rose was not hitting as many home runs. He was hustle and he was doubles and all that stuff. It was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
Pretty fun to watch.
So,
anyways,
I
one of the
feel like-
all-time greats. You don't hear anybody ever say anything negative about Willie Mays.
right. If I were to give you a Mount Rushmore of my era, so
Okay,
I was
yeah.
born in 91, and of my era of watching baseball, I would have Derek Jeter on there, which I know a lot of people think he's overrated, but he was a face of the game. All right. I would put Barry Bonds on there, and then I would probably. Part of me already wants to put Trout on there, but I'd probably go Bryce Harper, just because of what he's done for the game. And then, part of me wants to.
Wait. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Part of me wants to say Sammy Sosa.
I knew you were going there.
But I'm trying to have some integrity.
But if you're going to put Barry Bonds on there, you can't look at Sammy Sosa's numbers and say, well, he's as good as Mike Trout.
That's
he
true.
is.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm
Shohei.
trying.
Shohei is
I'm trying
the
to
current
think
player
of,
that has somebody in the chat mentioned Soto. Well, if he ever, if he
needs
signs
more-
with the Cubs
he-
this offseason, we'll have the conversation.
He needs more longevity.
Oh, all those guys do, of course.
But
they
at
do,
least
yeah.
Trout and Harper have been in the league for like 10 years. So when I think back to the 2000s, I guess Albert Pujols is a name that has to be on there. That decade that he had to start his career is one of the greatest decades in baseball history. And that's big of me to say because he's a Cardinal, but it's true. So I'd probably go with those 4.
And I never saw Willie Mays play. I did see Pete Rose play. In fact, I saw him get within, I think, at Wrigley. He was at Wrigley Field when he was chasing the hits record from Ty Cobb. And I was with my cousins, one of those games at Wrigley Field when he was like 2 hits away, 3 hits away from it, and there was the meter and the whole thing. And I took a camera, one of those disposable cameras down there, and I took a picture right before some naked guy tried to run on the field. It's not in the photo, but a naked guy tried to run on the field. And he did not break the record, but I believe, I don't know if he tied it at Wrigley or he got within 1 at Wrigley Field. Just remember we parked our grandparents' car illegal and we were all worried it was going to get towed.
So I think the thing about Willie Mays that blows my mind the most is the 24 All-Stars. And I understand
That's crazy.
It's like a fan vote and all this, and he's one of the best baseball players of his time, so a lot of people just wanted to see him. I mean, he made the All-Star team in 1972, and he played 88 games that year. And, he ended up only hitting 8 home runs.
How many All-Star games?
He played 24. And, again, in 1972, it wasn't even his last one. He was 41 years old, but he only played 88 games that year. Did he get hurt in that season? I don't know. But anyway, he made
the year I was born.
He made the year he made the All-Star
Credit
team.
to me.
He made the All-Star team consecutively from 1954 to 1972.
It's pretty good.
One of those years, 1965, he was age 34. 398, 640, or no, that's an on base. 317, 398, 645 slash line with the 1.043 OPS, 185 OPS plus. He had 52 homers that year. And age 34.
A lot of people would say if you had to pick one, I think
You won MVP that year,
Babe
by the
Ruth,
way.
but a lot of people would argue that Willie Mays is the greatest all-around player of all time.
Yeah. I mean,
I've heard the argument many times.
Hank Aaron makes a really great case to be on there too, just because on his, not only was he the home run king for a really long time, but in his path to getting there, it was at a time where people didn't want him to do it because he was African American, and they didn't want him to break Babe Ruth's record.
His defense wasn't Willie Mays' defense, and Willie Mays still hit 660.
Yeah,
Willie Mays was. The numbers hold up. Yes, Barb. Ted Williams hit 400, 407 in 1941.
He did. Yeah, Willie Mays.
We're waiting for Ryan
crazy.
Herrera. to join us from beautiful historic Wrigley Field. Hopefully he's going to be able to join us. Cubs win 5-2. We have some great events we want to tell you about while we are waiting for Ryan, and we also want to tell you about our friends at Circa Sportsbook, which in Waukegan will be one of the stops when we make our big trip to Milwaukee. But Circa is, of course, where we like to do our gambles.
Our gambles. Yeah, we're making a stop there mainly so people who live in the suburbs, they can, if say they live in the north suburbs or northwest suburbs. A lot of Cubs fans live out in the northwest suburbs. Instead of having to drive all the way into the city, just meet us at Waukegan at Circa Sportsbook. They have a big-ass parking lot. You can park your car there, grab it on your way back when we come back from the game. And, they have a great casino and sportsbook there, Yeah. I had a great time there at March Madness this year, placing some wagers because they got really good tight money line splits. All right, Luke, you have to really emphasize.
I love tight money line splits.
Absolutely,
and that's where you get them. Circa Sports Illinois.
On their menu, the games strive to be a -110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use -115 or -120. Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets, especially compared to other books. Circa doesn't limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. They actually encourage bettors to download and explore all sports betting apps available so they can compare the lines from each sports book. There are real people behind their brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other books who use chatbots. All aspects of their app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. They're with us for every Cubs Friday 120 Club, which is, we have another one this Friday, back-to-back weeks. We have one this Friday against the Mets. Hopefully the Cubs win tomorrow, and we go into Friday with a winning streak. Oh my, the vibes will be incredible.
We should bring Grimace out for that game. You guys maybe you should dress in a Grimace outfit.
I might have a stroke, but
Brags.
Brags. Yeah, Brags. Anyway, Circa's always there. They're great. They love hosting this event with us every Friday 120, which is awesome. So if you or someone you may know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, text GAMB to 833-324, or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
Before we get to Friday 120, we have tomorrow's game where the Cubs can finally win a series and trying to stop their streak of losing 9 out of their last 10 series. And it is the big watch-along here at CHGO. And Grillin' with Dad's going to be in studio, showing us some great recipes. He's going to be...
Great YouTube channel. You should check it out. It's like 200,000+ subscribers.
It's going to be... They cleaned off the grill out there on the deck. And he's going to... I guarantee a naked guy is going to be over there like...
He's going to be like, can I come hang out?
What's going on over at CHGO? We'll probably throw him a bratwurst or something across the alley.
Just like sling it.
That's right. So he's going to be here. It's the watch-along. It's a 120 game. Cody, Corey, and what we're calling a distinguished panel of special guests. Some so famous, they're infamous. Will also join and sit in on the fun. Live YouTube chat will be up right here at CHGO Sports. The game will be going on. You're watching on your TV. They're watching right here on our TV, and the live chat is going. So basically, it's a conversation going the entire time.
Me and Corey, and then whoever else.
And a bunch of midday blue moons, as Jim Cook points out.
Luke decided that he can't be here tomorrow. So
taking my son's birthday off.
Big of you. Credit to you.
Credit to me. Credit to me.
But yeah, we'll be watching the game. We did one of these watch-alongs when Brendan was here, like 2-3 weeks ago. So it was a lot like that.
It was a big win.
A lot of fun. And they did win the game. Yes, they did. So me, Corey, and whoever else part of CHGO, maybe we'll get Grilling with Dad in here, and he can show us his meats, obviously. So should be fun.
Barb says Ryan's dad could help with the cooking. I don't know if the king of Elk Grove is a good cook or not, but I know that he's very popular.
I'll have to ask him. Next time I see him.
Generally, a king does not cook.
Yeah.
People cook.
He's also a plumber, so I mean, I don't know. So
and a good one.
He's a great
Real
one.
Good one.
But do you ever put plumber and cook together? Like, I don't know.
Well, yes, but Generally, it's bad cook and then plumber.
Exactly.
I don't want to get any further into it.
We also have the road trip.
Yeah, we got the road trip. Don't forget, we mentioned this on the pregame show. This is the big deal. June 29th, $99. It includes party bus ride up to Milwaukee. We got 2 stops here in Chicago to pick it up. We're starting at Almost Home near Wrigley Field, and then we're stopping at Circus Sports in Waukegan. Yep. You can catch the party bus either place, and the booze cruise is included there. So the booze on the bus is included. Then a little tailgate action once you get to Milwaukee at the parking lot. That also includes your ticket to sit with everybody from CHGO at the game. Then after the game, load back up on the bus, come on back. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you get in on that. Like $99, what else are you going to do on a beautiful Saturday?
You're
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Considering how expensive gas is these days, you're gonna save money just on gas alone.
There's a chance you'll be able to talk our boss Jake into stopping at the Mars Cheese Castle on the way home.
Oh.
Or if Corey's on the bus, which I think he might be, the Bong Rec Center.
And also, I mean, Sunnyside's like right by Almost Home too. It's like a block or two, so
Cody might want to stop at the Nike outlet in Kenosha.
Well, I do need some new workout gear,
and they do have a Culver's there too, which is always nice.
Don't worry.
All right, I heard it. I heard the special.
$99 again. Right.
$99.
Ryan, tell the people in the press
not
box.
$99.95. $99.
Would be absolutely hilarious if I saw Sahadev Sharma on the party bus en route to Milwaukee.
And then he covered the game in Milwaukee.
Yeah, now that would be wild.
Sahadev, give me one of those soft serves in the press box.
Will Patrick Mooney show up on the bus in his vest? Like, I want to know. Yeah,
Mooney vest on.
Yeah,
I think it's a little too hot for that.
Probably could be a little too hot.
Tony and Draki.
But it's the 29th. Right? It's not here yet. Yeah. All right, Ryan. So what was the big talk after the game? Obviously an important win, but you could go from Steele to the offense to Dansby. There were a lot of guys that had to step up for this one.
Yeah, well, I think one of the main things, Council especially talked about after was the 8th inning, obviously for the Cubs. Michael Busch, the double. I mean, that was almost a home run. I thought it was going to be a home run. Obviously hit a few feet down off the wall with the start off that inning with a double, and then it's just guys putting the ball in play, right? Like Bellinger poking one through the left side. I don't say was that also a ground ball, I think, through the left side, and then Happ's was just a ground ball through the right side or down the right through the line. Morel pinch hitting, just hitting one to the hole at shortstop where he's not going to have a play. It was just a bunch of, something that we talk about a lot is like you start putting the ball in play, like good things can happen, magic can happen, and that was the obviously theme of that 8th inning for the Cubs today. But then, you look at like the bullpen, Tyson Miller, like Justin Steele talked about it, like when Tyson Miller was here the first time, they were coming up through the minors together and were really good friends back then. He's like, I basically said like he always knew that this is like Tyson Miller had this in him. So I think back to when the Cubs first picked him up like over a month ago, and people are like, why would they pick up a guy that just got DFA'd? But you're seeing like what the Cubs saw in this guy, a guy that I think he's given up 3 earned runs since he came to the Cubs, and that's again over a month and a half of work and earning high leverage spots in this bullpen and then going out and being trusted to shut things down. And another thing that Council talked about was like setting up Keegan for a spot. So he said like Keegan has been really good against right-handed hitters, and I looked and he's actually like a 424 OPS, I think, right-handed hitters this year against him. So it was a good pocket for him, and you saw it with the 3 strikeouts. But Council pointed to like you look at what Tyson Miller was able to do there. He gets 4 outs. He sets up a pocket of 3 right-handed hitters for Keegan Thompson. So when like you talk about bullpens and how they're built and how they use stuff, and like Council always talks about like he's just worried about getting the 27 outs, not about when guys are out there getting him. It's just getting the 27 outs. Like that's part of, and that's kind of an example of what he means when he says that. It's like, could he have saved Tyson Miller for the 9th inning? Sure. Could he have also used him right there, shut down a little bit of I think a guy was on right there in the 7th. Get that one, get through the 8th inning, and get a pocket for potentially Keegan Thompson. Like that's some of the things he's talking about when you're looking at how the bullpen is used and when he puts guys in. Like I think that's a good example of that, and that's something that he pointed to that worked out tonight.
Speaking of Keegan Thompson, will Craig Counsell now declare the mayor the new closer on the north side?
I don't think he'll declare that. I don't think he'll be declaring that anytime soon. But
He looked pretty good. Looked pretty good to me.
yeah, I mean, like I said, like they had a three righty pocket right there. There might have been a fourth righty there, but like, you know, three guys right-handed batters who Keegan's had a lot of success against this year, and like, you know, Keegan's someone that he's got options. He's living the life of a guy with options, or a reliever with options, where he's going to move back and forth between Iowa and Chicago all year. But yeah, I think when you're on a team without a true closer, without a Josh Hader or Devin Williams, and you're figuring out how to put together 27 outs, like, yeah, I don't think he would necessarily shy away from Keegan in a closer situation as he didn't today, right? He saw a spot where he thought Keegan could have success, and he used him. And so, like, maybe you'll see him in more safe situations. I don't know that he'll be the closer, but if the situation calls for it, I think that's definitely an option that Counsell wouldn't shy away from if needed.
And for people that didn't hear the news, Quas is gone, C.J. Edwards is gone, and Miles Mastrobuoni called up in the pregame. We were questioning some things, but I guess Canario actually left a game on Friday and hasn't played, and Brendan Davis has been hurt. I am curious of whether or not that would have been the same decision to bring up Mastrobuoni had Canario not left that game.
Well, I mean, that's something that, you know, those guys, like, I don't think Brendan Davis has played in a week, and obviously Canario, like, left that game on, it was either Friday or Saturday, so, yeah, I don't know what the decision would have been had Canario not left that game, or had Brendan Davis. I don't know if he's still as hot as he was a couple weeks back. I haven't checked in with him, but had he been healthy, maybe he's a guy. Regardless, like, yeah, I think that's when we're talking about the who's getting brought up, like that. I mean, obviously that matters, right? They're not going to bring up a guy that's hurt or injured, right? So that obviously plays into the calculus, but. Yeah, I mean, maybe Canario gets that shot. Obviously, an outfielder and Mike Tauchman goes on the bench or goes on the IL. Maybe he gets that shot, but I do think part of it is, like, now they can let PCA, Belly, and Michael Busch basically play every day in some combination of how they want to play him. I think that was sort of important as far as, like, Michael Busch has been hitting really well. They want him in the lineup, right? Belly is very versatile. They want him in the lineup. PCA gives great defense. They want him playing as often as possible. I think that also plays into the decision too.
Go ahead, Cody.
I guess, I mean, for me, related to the closer situation or the bullpen, was Neris down for the night? Did he go to Thompson because of what you're basically saying, as because against righties the opponent's OPS was whatever you said, 492 or whatever?
The spot was right for him.
The spot was right, or is it because Neris was down for the night?
I mean, I don't know if he was down for the night. He did pitch. He threw 24 pitches yesterday. Leiter threw 28. Those guys very well could have been down. I mean, you saw Counsell talked about it yesterday. Like, he's not, like, actively looking to take Neris out of those situations. So, like, I don't know. Like, he very well could have been down. He did pitch, obviously, 24 pitches yesterday. Could have been an off day. And then again, obviously, seeing a pocket where Keegan Thompson could have some success. There's probably different factors in that decision for sure.
Yeah, Barb in the chat says that I said that Thompson is the new closer, and I did not say that. I don't believe that he's the new closer, and I really don't know what's going to happen after this. All I know is that I'm just enjoying the fact that the ninth inning didn't give me a heart attack tonight. So,
I said the mayor has been reelected.
I mean,
has he been reelected, or is he just back on the ballot?
He's been reelected.
I'm just happy that
he's back in office.
He went out there and didn't give, like, what if he had gone out there and given us a heart attack? Then no matter, even if they had won the game, we all would have just been like, this closer situation stinks, and we wouldn't have even felt happy about the game. So I'm just happy he went out there with a 3-run lead and didn't blow it. So I'm going to take my little wins when I can,
right.
considering
We're not
this
negative
team
tonight.
stinks.
We're not going negative tonight.
Yeah.
They can win a series with Kyle Hendricks on the mound tomorrow. Who you got? Who were the picks for who you got tonight?
I think I was the only one that put a pick in. So I went.
So you lose then?
I must have forgot.
No.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
also
I thought
Michael. I also picked Bush, who had a great day at the plate today. So no, I definitely.
Just automatically be Gomes or Amaya for me every day.
And I think I took Dansby. I thought, did I take Dansby? Joey?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Did I call you with Dansby at some point?
I thought you may have called me with Dansby, honestly,
No,
but I don't have the
no,
written
no.
receipts.
Yeah. No. I win. So
We'll check the phone records. We'll check the phone records. But
Whatever. I don't even care. I just want the team to win games. And I'm doing everything in my possible anything.
Novodamus says I'm crowning Thompson already. No, I'm electing him. We don't have kings here.
Yeah, we don't have kings. It's democracy.
Except for the king of Elk Grove. It was questioned today on the live YouTube chat whether your father, the king of Elk Grove, is a good cook, because Grilling with Dad is going to be here tomorrow for the live watch along. Can your dad grill?
My dad's a pretty good cook. Yeah, he grills. He has a
There it is.
smoker. He likes to use the smoker to make meats and stuff. So
Pork shoulder every once in a while. Good brisket. Your dad make a good brisket on this.
Good brisket.
Apparently,
yeah.
plumbers and cooking do go together.
You see what's going to happen here is once we set the bar tomorrow, the next time around, let's bring in the king of Elk Grove for a little, get the smoker out there on the deck for about 12 hours.
If the king of Elk Grove just came in any day to
Put a
grill,
brisket out there.
we'd have to let him come on the show. He can come in.
Oh, he can come on the show.
He can come on and pretend to be Ryan.
He can do Ryan's hit.
He can do Ryan's hit.
What? We just replaced you with your dad.
I don't know if you guys want to hear his takes on this show. I'll be honest.
No, probably not.
Well, they can't be any worse than what we read in the YouTube chat. So.
You'd be surprised sometimes.
He says I have old takes, even though we're pretty much the same age.
Yeah, I mean Ryan and Luke would probably not Ryan and Luke. I mean Luke and your dad. I bet if for people like Godfather, I bet he'd love to hear what
He'd have takes
that
on Willie
conversation.
Mays just like I did.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Ryan, before we go?
I was gonna say, you mentioned Willie Mays. A lot of condolences and stuff given to Willie Mays and Willie Mays' family post game. It was obviously we saw it mid game, and they put a picture up, graphic on the video board over here for Willie Mays in the 6th or 7th inning. So everyone on the field found out because of that. So but rest in peace, Willie Mays. Obviously, one of the all-time greats in baseball history, Major League Baseball history, whatever you want to say. A lot of condolences, thoughts, and prayers passed around down here. Council, Steele, Bellinger, Swanson, a lot of guys. It's a sad. At 93, I didn't realize he was 93 years old. But rest in peace to one of the greatest of all time, possibly the greatest of all time. You can make that argument.
That's what I was saying. I was watching a clip of him in an old-timers game when he was 50 years old, making a running catch, and he falls down at the wall. And I was laughing because he was in an old-timers game at 50. And he still looked like he was running out there like a regular Major League Baseball player.
Built different.
Built different.
Logan Webb had a quote after the game. Sahadev Sharma retweeted it from Andrew Baggerly at Extra Bags on Twitter. And apparently Logan Webb didn't know that the news until the Cubs put it on the scoreboard in left field.
Right, like Ryan was saying.
And his quote was, "It was hard at first. I took my hat off and was looking at the scoreboard and just thinking about him. Kind of looked at the umpire and was like, I think you need to stop the clock. I needed to take a moment to think about it and be prideful for the jersey I was wearing, the hat I was wearing, knowing Willie did the same." So
pretty cool. Pretty
cool moment.
There's been some neat moments at the All-Star games recently with Willie Mays being there. Starting to lose some of the all-time greats in Major League Baseball. Ryan, do you have your Mount Rushmore for Major League Baseball? I went with Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, and Hank Aaron. But the fourth one, Hank Aaron, I could see a lot of other guys going in that spot. But I believe that Willie Mays, Jackie Robinson, Babe Ruth, I don't see how you take those off. Herb Lawrence said no Jackie Robinson, no Babe Ruth.
I think Babe Ruth's in there. I think he's got to be in there. Just the impact he had on the game. I mean, I don't have it ready. I mean, that's a pretty good Mount Rushmore. I mean, depending how you feel about Barry Bonds, could also be in there. There's definitely a few guys who could be.
We don't have a pitcher in there. You want to decide who you believe is, if it's Cy Young
Who's
or
your,
wherever you want to go.
Who's your
Randy Johnson.
Who's your Mount Rushmore for like your life, like of your living life?
Games you've watched.
Games I've watched since 1996. You guys put me on the spot here. Why don't you guys tell me ahead of time?
All right. Well, Trout's probably on there. Bonds is probably on there.
We'll go Alfonso Soriano.
What?
Juan Pierre, Henry Blanco, and we'll leave the fourth one open.
Nick
Aramis
Magical.
Ramirez.
There you go.
There it is.
Angel Pagan. Felix Pierre.
Felix Pierre.
Mike Fontenot. Rob Bowen.
David
Caesar
Ross.
Sturris.
And David Ross carried off on shoulders.
Craig
Doc
Counsell.
All right.
I would do
All
my,
right.
my Mount Rushmore of Cubs legends
Thanks.
one day.
We got to go because we got to get the grill started up so it's at the correct temperature when the guy
Sorry,
gets
we
here
went
tomorrow.
over, Joey. Sorry. Beer bat tomorrow. Cubs are winning tomorrow. Kyle Hendricks is going to shove against the Giants like he did last year. We're manifesting it right now. And you're all going to watch us react to it on here at on our CHGO Sports YouTube. It's going to happen. Manifestation. Please win tomorrow. I want to win a series, and I don't want to be pissed at this team again for a while.
Yeah.
Like a good week. Thank you.
Fly the W.